Here's Brian and Lance. We're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSpod.club production. I'm BT, and this guy right over here, I want you to know he has a vast knowledge of tons of different things. He's just a jack of all trades when it comes to knowledge, and I want to share this with you. The other day, he texted me, and he said, BT, if you ever are attacked by a mob of clowns, go for the jugular. Man, I should have had that.
Fake news. Fake news.
That's an Al Snow joke. Another Al Snow joke.
Oh,
he is from Chicago, the home of the Willis Tower. It's the tallest Chicago skyscraper, and also it's had many monikers, but still remains the third tallest building in the United States at 110 stories, and no truth to the rumor that Lance calls it Big Willie. He does not call it Big Willie. He is the Stark of Excellence, my partner in crime, your friend and mine. He is Lance Levine. How the hell are you, Lance?
I'm doing great right here in the Ritz Bacon Dippers Studios. That's right, Ritz Bacon Dippers. I found those at that foreign store that had all the Canadian stuff and all the overseas stuff. Ritz Bacon Dippers. So it is the Sears Tower. It will always be known as the Sears Tower to us in Chicago because it's like one of those things like Comiskey Park, you know.
Right.
It's been Wrigley Field. If they ever change that, it's always going to be known as Wrigley Field to us. So it's when something is that for that long, of course, we're going to still call it that. So
I got it. That they said, you know, it's been called many things. So that was fun. And then
I've never heard of anything besides Sears Tower. That's it.
Yeah.
If there was a
Big Willie.
That,
I heard someone call it Big Willie, but
that was the Saturday night at the Trammell household.
There we go. All right, Little Willie. All right, this is episode 771, episode 148 of Cool Kids Countdown. I want a really quick DM me if you want a T-shirt. Look at the T-shirts, cups. Yeah. We have all kinds of stuff. I'm going to try to keep everyone updated, but November and December, so we'll tell you what's coming up, but you cannot expect 2 episodes every week, especially around the last of both months. December, we usually do only Rolling Into Memphis, so I'll keep everybody updated as we go off, but you'll still get, as we are with our sponsors, we need to do at least 104 episodes a year, and guys, y'all have got that, I think, already. Very close to it. We got Rolling Into Memphis coming Saturday. I didn't write down all the numbers, but let me just tell you, business is booming. Our numbers are crazy. The biggest Rocktober ever. Woo-hoo. Thank you to everybody. Lance did a fantastic job. And here's the top 3 episodes from October. Top 10 albums. Our favorite top 10, and that was episode. You know, I never mentioned this on the episode, but it was 769. Oh, woo-hoo. Yeah. And number 2 was WTF 761, and the number 1 episode last month was Downtown Bruno at 759. Got a lot of good compliments about that because it's got a bunch of stuff about Downtown Bruno. It's never been covered. So it's just really weird that we have all kinds of things in common and things I ask you, but no one's ever asked. So, Lance, tell them what we're doing.
We are right here at the WTF News Desk 7 for October of 2023. We are covering the wild, the wacky, the wonderful world of professional wrestling and MMA. And if you're new to this, as I can't imagine you would be, but if you are, welcome. We didn't want to do a news show about the top 10 news stories every month because everybody does that. Meltzer does it better than anybody else, Wade Keller notwithstanding. So we didn't want to do something traditional. So we wanted to always look for the wacky, the wild, the weird, stories in wrestling and MMA. And so I think without fail, we always manage to find them. Some months bigger than others. Some months we have to do 2 parts, it feels like sometimes. There's so many crazy, bizarre stories in wrestling. So not always hysterical, you know, sometimes there's more serious stuff, but it's always weird. That's what we always want to rely on, is that the WTF News Desk is always the bizarre stories in wrestling, which there are plenty every single month.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah. So anyway, so we start every month. We start at number 10, which is the stipulation match of the month. We're often in Japan, which is where we are this time. It is the Baka Gaijin and Friends promotion. The match happened on Halloween on October 31st. It was the horror business card, and it took place at the Arena Shimokitazawa. And the match was Hagane Shino beating our old friend Antonio Honda. We mention him all the time on this. And it was a wasabi cream puff death match. Oh. And so the stipulation was with every
a cream pie? It was a cream pie? Puff. My bad.
Yeah, not the porn term. Not a porn term. No. I don't want any confusion here. We're not talking for the kiddos. So within every 2 count that happened during the match, the guy who was getting pinned, or the guy who suffered the 2 count, had to eat a cream puff, and one of them was super hot. One of them was a wasabi cream puff. So they had to keep eating the cream puffs. It was like a Russian roulette type of deal with the cream puffs. So somebody kept eating them. Then they got down to 2 left. Honda got the wasabi cream puff, and he loses because he ate the hot cream puff. So also we had on October 15th, Tokyo Joshi Pro. The card was called Go Girl 4. And that's another reference to the Trammell household on Saturday
Go
nights,
girl!
Go Girl 4. So it was at the Shinagawa Prince Hotel Club, where only female fans were allowed. Now that sounds more like my apartment. Only female fans are allowed in my apartment. So this was a sexist card because only female fans were allowed. I can't imagine the Japanese neckbeards took kindly to this. So in the main event on this card, we had Maki Ito and Yuki Kamafuko beating Shoko Nakajima and Rika Tatsumi. And by that win, the tag team won a 1-year supply of Angel Skin body wash. So a 1-year supply of Nivea body wash for that. So all
sounds good.
I read that was Spunk Lube needs to sponsor some matches.
That's right. There we go. You get some sponsorship going on there. DM me, guys, if y'all want to sponsor. Y'all want to do a Spunk Lube match.
A Spunk Lube match in Japan.
At your wrestling show.
So, and then our last match, we have to. I feel obligated to mention this. On October 9th, Tokyo Joshi Pro also had my nightmare of a match. Nyla Rose beating Maki Ito on the Wrestle Princess 4 card. So that was a nightmare. Unless they brought in Danhausen and Max Caster, that would have been the ultimate nightmare for me.
Hook's going to be there next week. So
Hook I can live with. It's Hook fans that are annoying. That's all. So that is our stip matches at number 10 this month, my friend.
Not much to say about it. Always crazy there with and we talk about this almost every month, but it is a culture thing. They'd have such the weird stuff. My buddy Tony Myers was on a card, and I could not get the complete lineup and for it, or even the exact date. I don't know if it was in November or October, but he does the Chainsaw Tony gimmick, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gimmick. Well, there was a Godzilla and a bunch of creatures with one eyes, and I don't know, one eye, not one eyes, one eye, and all kinds of just crazy stuff. And so they love things like that. They've always been into big monsters, and they just bring it. I mean, they bring it to the wrestling too with all this weird stuff. It's weird. I think it's funny that we have New Japan, who's pretty much all serious, and then the rest of the culture of the wrestling fans are just odd, very odd.
Into the weird stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go after the show, I'm going to have a cream puff, and I might have one of the pastries as well. All right, at number 9, we have Creepy the Clown is arrested. So Indiana Fox affiliate Channel 59 reports that indie wrestler Michael Keane, 42, who wrestles as Creepy the Clown, that's with a K, Creepy, he's arrested on October 10th for battery of a, quote, endangered adult, and it is a felony. So the show is at Indiana Powerhouse Wrestling. Creepy allegedly attacks an autistic fan in the audience after the show. So reports were that the fan had been obnoxious and loud during the show. Don't know, just that's what the reports were. Creepy allegedly elbows him in the head in the parking lot after the show, and then the fan hits him back with a soda can. So they get into it. The fight is on. Creepy says, and we're going to clean this up for the censors here. Creepy says, "Don't call my son an F. You are." So you can fill in whatever you think the F was and whatever you think the R word that he called him was. So anyway, meanwhile, the PWIinsider.com reported this story. There were, I don't know if you saw, there were so many misspellings in the story. I thought the whole thing was a prank after a while. I mean,
I don't see misspelled words. I told you I don't.
It was so weird how every other word was misspelled. I'm like, this thing looks like an April Fool's joke or something. Anyway, so I'm not sure. It may have been a prank, may not. At the end of the day, Creepy the Clown was fired by Indiana Powerhouse Wrestling. So Creepy the Clown arrested at number 9. He may never work again.
The thing, I mean, I'm all about freedom of speech, and you know, if I'm going to offend you, I'm going to apologize, and the words that we don't want to say, we wouldn't want to get in trouble at work, but our shoot jobs, put it that way. But the thing that gets me is attacking somebody. He attacked a fan because the fan was loud and rowdy. Wait, aren't they supposed to be loud and obnoxious? So he hit him with the can. So go
a soda can.
Now, how would you? And how are you going, as Creepy the Clown, how are you going to know they're autistic, okay? You're not going to know they're autistic, but you should not hit a fan unless they've hit you first, so.
It is a felony to have hit this kid is a felony. So we'll see what happens with Creepy the Clown. So, all right, at number 8, we have Mini Charlie Manson arrested, but which one is it? So on the October 16th Observer, the paper edition of the Observer, we do want to mention that here. The October 16th Observer, Dave reports that Nestro Armando, 43, who wrestles as Mini Charlie Manson, has been arrested in Ecatepec, Mexico, on rape charges. Of course, rape not funny. But this is not the AAA Mini Charlie Manson, nor is it the Mini Charlie Manson that wrestles out of Chicago. So I think we're burying the lead here. The crime occurred, or the alleged crime occurred, burying the lead. There are more than 3 Mini Charlie Mansons? How is this a thing? So we want to make sure that there's not, the right Mini Charlie Manson was accused of the rape at number 8.
The thing that got me the most is that, number one, there's more than one Mini Charlie Manson, but that gimmick, why would you want that gimmick? It doesn't. You're a midget, and the first name that comes to
M-word.
The M-word. You come to the first thing that comes to your mind is I want to be Charlie Manson. So there's one that said that. Then there's the second one, and now there's 3. And I was like, oh, it was just so funny to me to think of. And there's other stories about Charlie Manson, but it ain't this one that they got arrested too. So it's like if your name is Mini, if you're a Mini Charlie Manson, then you're a menace to society.
You're a bad guy. That's right. Or if you're Charlie Manson, you're a menace to society.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, all right, at number 7, we have inappropriate groping in WWE and Noah. Oh, we have some audio footage here.
Yeah, I want to go ahead. I want to play this real quick. This was a news, so we'll actually be able to see it. If you are watching the video, you'll be able to watch what we got here. And if you're not watching the video, then that's cool. But what we're doing is we're just showing what we're fixing to talk about real quick here. Let me mute. Let me start it real quick.
In the latest episode of Monday Night Raw,
Natalia
made her grand entrance, greeted by an
I'm sorry.
crowd. However, the atmosphere took a surprising turn.
But as you can see, go ahead and read it.
All right, so we've got at the season premiere of Raw. It was October 16th from Oklahoma City. Natty's coming to the ring. She leans over the rail. The lovely Natty, looking good, leans over the rail to put her sunglasses on a girl. And this nerdy kid that she's leaning over, he hugs her, and he accidentally or not, he grabs her boob briefly. So I got to give Natty credit. She brushes it off and goes to the ring. She plays it off and just keeps going to the ring. So Can we have the help desk narrate the story?
Are you sure that's Natty? Because she's had so much plastic surgery. I'm not
sure. It might be her sister. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the OnlyFans together or whatever they do. So, all right. Yeah. So we have, and I got to give it to her. You know, she never flinched. Yeah. She never flinched. This little stupid punk with the glasses. He like grabs.
Now, why you call him a little stupid punk? He's better than me and you. He got boob. He got a handful of boob.
He got some from Natty, and she just like a pro. She just keeps going, goes to the ring.
And she made it out like it wasn't a big deal on Twitter too. Yeah, so big thumbs up to.
So
if that is Natty. So that is
unless it's her sister under the plastic surgery. So. And speaking of inappropriate touching, two Noah wrestlers, Yatsutaka Yano and Kinya Okada, who had vanished earlier in the year.
Yano and Okada? Really?
That's right, Yano and Okada. So the story comes out that it was because they were arrested for touching a woman in an obscene manner earlier in the year. So it's not that Yano and Okada.
Thank God. By the way, let me just say this. Let me just say that Okada's a handsome man.
I think it's Mini Yano and Mini Okada. So that's what I think it was.
It might be Mini. That little evil bastard, Charlie Manson. Yeah, hold on.
So,
okay.
Wait, that could be the sound of the joke zooming over somebody's head. So
there we go. There we go.
So not the fast lane sound effect. So I want to close number 7, the inappropriate groping number here, number 7. I want to close it with the act right, men. It's not that difficult to not act like an idiot. Okay, nerdy kid, you're an idiot little kid. You grabbed a boob. Okay, there's an excuse. You're a child. You didn't know any better. But men, we can do better than this. Stop acting.
Okay, so you say we can do better than that. Let me I shout out to my buddy Lynn Pearson in Minnesota. I went to Minnesota during spring break and it snowed. But I was there on spring break from college, and I was in a bar, and it was just so close. Everybody was close, and there was a whole line of women. And my hand was on my leg, but as I went by, my hand touched the women's butts. So I'm not going to say that I turned my hand around like this instead of like this. I'm not going to say that. But is that being inappropriate?
No. It was
okay. Thank you. I feel better. I feel better about it. Quit looking at your phone.
In general, we could do better, guys. So, all right. At number 6, we have Billy Corgan, Madman. So, a crazy month for Billy Corgan. And if you ever read All the Right Notes, the book All the Right Notes, you'll know that he is kind of like my doppelganger. Billy Corgan is my evil twin. We don't look alike, though. So anyway, crazy month for him.
The definition of doppelganger, you look alike.
No, there's just similarities in who we are and what we do and what we're into. So anyway, crazy month for Billy Corgan starts October 14th when Corgan blasts Dave Meltzer for having an opinion, basically. Corgan tweets that Dave has built his brand off the work of others and claims to be an expert despite not wrestling or running a promotion. So it's that old argument about Dave. So Corgan says, all must bow to the opinion of one. No, thank you, sir. And then Dave replies with his standard rebuttal, which is what Frank DeFord's opinion is more important than Billy Corgan's, which is anytime anybody criticizes Dave, that's pretty much what Dave's go-to is the Frank DeFord opinion. So then on October 28th, there's an NWA PLE, Premium Live Event. It's called Sam Hain from Cleveland, and it features a segment where Father James Mitchell and a bunch of LAs and other misfits are doing cocaine in the audience, and that's a bit that they do on camera for this pay-per-view. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, a bit out of place. But the biggest issue is they had just signed a contract with the CW, and now they're in jeopardy of losing their deal, either losing their deal with the CW altogether because of this cocaine bit, or the show going to streaming altogether and not airing on actual regular TV. So the cocaine spot was Corgan's idea. He thought it was fine. He thought it was safe to have on a PLE, and apparently not, because the CW seems pretty pissed about it. So Billy Corgan, weird freaking month at number 6.
I've looked into and watched a few videos about what Corgan says, and I'm not 100% on his side when it comes to Meltzer. The stuff that you repeated was kind of every wrestling guy says it. You got to remember Dave is dealing with workers, carny, people that don't tell the truth. And Bischoff's one of these guys who probably don't tell the complete truth either.
No.
But he does show how how Meltzer works in the sense that he gets, and I was one of them for Memphis. He could get news from me, and that he would take to heart as news. What if I was just feeding him something fake? And a lot of guys in the business do that. Corrigan says that Meltzer would never confirm anything was true from his promotions, but Meltzer was probably getting it from a known source, and Corrigan didn't want anybody to know about it. It's just it's real muddy when it comes to that. And I love when you sent me this. You said NWA blows CW contract with Blow.
Get it? Blow. Yeah,
loved it. That's
so weird.
It was really weird. If you can find it all over Twitter, but it was just really.
They're
just
like
confusing. Why would you do
cocaine and all doing the spoons to the nose and everything, and it's like big piles of white powder on the table, and it just
I could almost see that if this was still the 80s, you know.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. That was a Russo bit that would have resonated on the Raw, you know, when Raw was a lot more racy. That was a Russo bit maybe that would have worked back then, and you know, like hot lesbian action or whatever the hell some of those weird angles were. So I could see that working then, but yeah, not today. That's not going to fly.
It's strange.
So,
all right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to listen to our sponsors. If you're watching a video, the video's stopping right now. You have to watch it on Patreon, or you have to listen to it on the main feed. There is a commercial, and when we come back, we will be doing halftime.